When you first start making videos in YouTube, I don't think it's you're scared about talking to the camera. I think it's you're scared about how awkward you look on camera when you play yourself back. I've been making YouTube videos now for 6 months, and in that time I've published 68 videos. In this video, I'm going to tell you the tips that I've picked up along the way that have helped me grow my confidence when delivering to camera. So the first point is to relax into your body before you get started. By that I mean, when we first start recording, when we're new to this, it starts to build up in our heads. We get a little bit nervous, feel a bit awkward about how we're talking to a camera and not talking to a person, and we can kind of build it up in our heads to be this big thing. By just kind of loosening off our shoulders and just trying to relax and just kind of shake things off. Maybe speak to the camera for a few minutes after you've hit record, and then just remove that bit from the beginning of your video. You could sing your favorite song, you could, recite lines from your favorite book. Whatever it is, it's just a way of relaxing into the setting that you're in. The second thing that's really helped me with my camera confidence is to ditch scripts. Now, there's lots of pros and cons for using scripts versus talking off the cuff like this. The pro of having a script is that you can keep it really quite short and packed with value. You don't risk kind of going off in different tangents or adding waffle to your video that isn't really giving value to your viewer. That will typically keep your video shorter as well, and that's a good thing for everybody. However, from my experience of working with scripts, I found that when I'm reading a script, I have to read it kind of a sentence at a time. So it'll be read a sentence, recite that to the camera, read a sentence, recite that to the camera. And it's very stop-start, and I don't get into any kind of natural rhythm or flow with my video. And then it comes across that way as well. It's very wooden because I'm just not actually getting into the kind of flow of having a natural conversation. I also feel like I'm having to concentrate as I speak to the camera because I'm trying to remind myself of what it is I've just read on the paper. Now, I'm not saying that reading from a script wouldn't get better with practice. I just think that it's an extra layer of complexity when you're first starting on a YouTube channel and you've got all these things to think about. For me personally, I've found that just going off the cuff, working from a list of bullet points, has really helped me come across more natural in my delivery. The third thing that's really helped me is to look at the camera lens as if I'm talking to one person. The benefit of that is that when we create YouTube videos, you're obviously hoping that there's going to be a large audience that's going to watch that video. And therefore, there comes this kind of pressure to perform, this pressure to deliver the video well. Whereas if you think about it, when people watch your YouTube videos, they're only watching it one person at a time. So they are looking for a one-to-one connection. So you should talk to the camera as if you're talking to an individual. So have a think about who is the type of person who's going to be watching my videos. Who am I making my videos for? And you can kind of build up an image of that person in your head. They might be of a certain age group, they might be male, they might be female predominantly. You can build up an image of this person, and you almost treat your camera lens that you're looking at as a friend, as that ideal viewer. Recording for that one person is going to help you relax into that recording process, and it's going to give a better connection for your viewer. The fourth point that's really helped is to make sure that I'm looking into the lens of the camera. Now, when we first start, it feels very unnatural, and lots of people who make videos will tend to have vlogging cameras that have got flip round screens so they can see themselves in the frame, or they might have a smartphone and they're using the screen of their smartphone for the same reason and using the camera lens that is on the front. Whilst that's useful for framing, what it does act as a distraction. And instead of looking in the lens, which is essentially making eye contact with your viewer, instead you're kind of looking over here because you're looking at the screen and looking at yourself. And all of a sudden it's gone from sounding like I'm talking to you, like I'm talking to myself. You can see the point. So trying to make sure that you're always looking into your actual camera lens without the distraction is going to make the connection with your viewer all the more. Now, we can go too extreme with that as well. If you're never taking your eye away from the lens, never blinking, and it can start to get a little bit intense for your viewer. Think about if you were sat opposite someone in a cafe having a coffee and a bit of light conversation. You wouldn't be staring into their eyes the entire time. That's just not how we naturally converse. You might look off into the distance at the cashier, or you might look down at something that happened on the ground, or look out of a window. You can afford yourself about 20 to 30% of your time to not have to be looking into the lens. So you want to be maintaining that eye contact with the viewer as much as possible, but you can be looking off into the distance and other things to make it less intense and less creepy for your viewer. The next thing that I found really beneficial was to be really conscious about the pacing of the video that I'm making. So when you first start and you're a bit nervous and it's the first time you've recorded talking to a camera, there can be a tendency to talk really fast because we're nervous and not leave any breaks between sentences that we're saying. Maybe it's this kind of, I want to get this over with as quick as possible because I feel really cringe doing this. But the problem with that is that if you speak really fast like this and never actually leave a gap for anything, then the viewer is going to become overwhelmed because you're talking at them, not to them. And they're never getting a chance to really properly digest the things that you're telling them because you're not leaving any gaps. We feel this pressure, I think, when we put ourselves in front of a camera that we have to fill the silence. But the truth is, it's those kind of 2-3 second pauses between the things that you're saying that are going to help your viewer actually digest what it is you're telling them. So if you're offering really good value, you want to make sure that that value is landing, that they're having the time to process what you've said. Introducing those pauses also allows you to buy time to remind yourself of what your next point is. Another thing that we sometimes subconsciously do to fill those silences is to introduce what are called filler words. So that could be saying things like or or you know, or so. Our brains are just doing that to fill those awkward silences, when in actual fact, we actually want to have those gaps. So the best way I've found of treating that, or to at least reduce the amount of times that we use those filler words, is to simply just keep my mouth closed between the sentences that I'm saying. If my mouth's closed, then those words can't come out. The most important thing to remember here is that we do not have to chase perfection right from the word go. You don't have to implement all these things I've just talked about in your first video or your third video. You can accept and be at peace with the fact that when you first start doing this, it is normal to not feel comfortable in front of a camera and not come across naturally in front of a camera. The truth is that repetition is the true key to getting your comfort levels up. But what you can do is maybe publish your first few videos without thinking too much about this stuff, and then play them back and make notes. What did you like? What did you not like about your delivery? Perhaps you didn't look into the lens enough. Perhaps you spoke too fast. Perhaps you used too many filler words. And then you can just make it your mission for that next video that you're going to record to pick one of those things and try and improve on that. The last tip that I would give you is that have fun with it. Like, don't take it too seriously. YouTube should be fun. You should be enjoying the process of making the videos. So don't pile that pressure on yourself to be this amazing person at, delivering videos. It just doesn't work that way. It is a completely unnatural thing to talk to a camera lens. And when you first start, everyone who's done it before you has been in that position. Take that pressure off yourself. Give yourself permission to not be very good in those first few videos and just have fun with it. Relax into the video. Don't tense yourself up and put this pressure on yourself. Smile. Smiling will soften the features in your face, and that just makes you more approachable from a viewer's perspective. It's going to help that viewer draw into you. So, relax and don't take it too seriously. Okay, so hopefully you have found this video useful and you've picked up some good tips that you can maybe try and implement into your future videos. Let me know in the comments which tip you think was the most valuable. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with a link to this video, which talks about why we should be consuming less and creating more, so that hopefully you can take some of the tips you've learned in this video as inspiration for your next one. I'll see you over there.